Before you begin your test preparation, there's still some information we need to pass on to you about the government's regulations for how you operate your drone. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, is the nation's chief regulatory authority for all aircraft operations in the United States. As such, they regulate not only airlines and manned aircraft, but also drones, or as the FAA refers to them, unmanned aircraft systems. As part of their regulatory oversight, the FAA has promulgated a couple of important rules to remember when you're operating your drone. First, fly below 400 feet and remain clear of surrounding obstacles. The reason the FAA wants you to remain below 400 feet is that the minimum suggested altitude for helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, and all other manned aircraft is 500 feet. The FAA wants to keep 100 feet of vertical separation at least between your drone and any manned aircraft. Next, don't fly within 5 miles of an airport unless you contact the airport and control tower before flying. Remember, the airspace over an airport can get awfully crowded, and the FAA wants to ensure that flying a drone within close proximity to the airport doesn't cause a mid-air collision or other possible accident. Remember, if you're going to fly within 5 miles of an airport, always ensure that you contact the airport and control tower and obtain their permission first. By the way, while we're on the subject of operating your drone in areas where manned aircraft may be operating, the FAA says that you should always remain well clear of and do not interfere with any manned aircraft operations. Next, the FAA requires that your aircraft weigh less than 55 pounds. If your aircraft weighs more than 55 pounds at any point in its flight, you're in violation of FAA regulations. The remainder of the FAA's rules are fairly commonsensical. First, don't be careless or reckless with your unmanned aircraft. You could be fined for endangering people or other aircraft. Second, don't fly near large groups of people, such as those gathered at stadiums or sporting events. Once again, if you lose control of your aircraft and someone gets hurt, you're responsible, not only to them, but also to the federal government. Finally, keep the aircraft within visual line of sight at all times. If you can't see your aircraft, then you can't know what it's doing. So be sure that your drone never leaves your line of sight. The rules we've just given you apply to what the FAA considers recreational aircraft. Any non-recreational use of your drone requires FAA approval. For example, you can use your drone to take photos or videos for your personal use. The FAA says that's recreational. However, using the very same drone to take photographs or videos for compensation or sale to another individual would be considered a non-recreational operation, and you'll need to get permission from the FAA to fly commercially. That means you'll need to get either a Section 333 exemption or a special airworthiness certificate. If you want to know more about the 333 exemption or special airworthiness certificates, go to the FAA's website at faa.gov/UAS. If you want to know more about the FAA's rules and more about how to safely operate your drone in general, the FAA has partnered with several industry associations to promote Know Before You Fly, a campaign to educate the public about using unmanned aircraft safely and responsibly. You can find the Know Before You Fly website at knowbeforeyoufly.org. For the remainder of this video, we're going to do some test prep for our course exam. Some of the information in the test prep is going to come from the series of videos you've just watched. Other questions will come from your course workbook. All of the questions will be multiple choice questions. I'll give you the question and display the answer. Let's see if you can get the right answer before I give it to you. Are you ready? Let's go. Question 1. In what era did the United States government first start using military drones? Is the answer A, World War I, B, World War II, C, the Korean War, or D, the Cold War? The correct answer is A, during World War I. Question 2. The gimbal is a device that A, stabilizes a quadcopter in flight, B, stabilizes a camera, C, stabilizes the landing gear, or D, stabilizes the rotors. The correct answer is B. A gimbal is a device that stabilizes cameras so that you get steady camera shots in flight while the drone moves. Question 3. Is the following statement true or false? The FAA doesn't recognize any difference between taking videos from a drone for your own use and selling those pictures or videos to others. True or false? The answer is false. You cannot take video or pictures from a drone and sell them to a third party. That's a commercial use. For commercial use, you need to have either a Section 333 exemption or a special airworthiness certificate from the FAA. Question 4. By the year 2017, it is estimated that there will be how many drones in private hands in the United States? Is the answer A, 10,000, B, 20,000, C, 30,000, or D, 40,000? The correct answer is B. It is estimated that there will be 20,000 drones in private hands in the United States in 2017. Question 5. Which of the following is not a common type of drone? A, quadcopter, B, flying wing, C, variable wing, and D, high wing. The answer is C. There is no such thing as a variable wing drone. Question 6. If you release the flight controllers of your quadcopter while it is in full GPS lock mode, what will happen? A, the helicopter will try to hover, but will be pushed around by the wind or other outside forces. B, the helicopter will hover in place and resist outside forces. C, the helicopter will return to home. Or D, none of the above. The correct answer is B. If the quadcopter is in GPS lock mode, when you release the flight controllers, the quadcopter will hover in place. Question 7. How do you start your quadcopter? A, pushing both sticks up. B, pushing both sticks down. C, pushing both sticks to the outside. Or D, pushing both sticks to the inside. The correct answer is D, pushing both sticks to the inside. Question 8. Rotor wash is a loss of quadcopter stability caused by A, the rotors moving too fast, B, the rotors moving too slow, C, the quadcopter having too much altitude, or D, the quadcopter being close to the ground. The correct answer is D. Rotor wash occurs when the quadcopter is too close to the ground and the air reflecting back off of the ground from the rotors is too turbulent to maintain steady flight. Question 9. In attitude mode, a quadcopter will not what? A, hover in place. B, return to home. C, gain altitude quickly. Or D, none of the above. The correct answer is A. In attitude mode, a quadcopter will not hover in place. It will be moved by the wind or other outside forces. Question 10. Before flying your quadcopter, you should always ensure that it has a full GPS lock in order to ensure what function operates properly. A, attitude mode. B, GPS mode. C, return to home. Or D, none of the above. The answer is C. The return to home function will not work properly if the aircraft does not have a positive GPS lock before you fly. This concludes the test preparation portion of the video, and in fact, the entire video course. We hope you've enjoyed this course and we hope you find it useful. Remember, When you go flying your quadcopter or fixed-wing drone, always fly safely, use common sense, and obey all the proper flight rules and regulations. And above all, have fun.